Mm-hmm.
So, Elimination Chamber. This is apparently the 27th Elimination Chamber match.
So, John Morrison defeated Elias, Mustafa Ali, and Ricochet in the pre-show 4-way to determine who was taking Keith Lee's spot.
What happened to Keith?
Nobody knows. It is a injury.
So, sounds like Keith Lee popped for COVID again.
Or, there's also the other reading that
he's engaged to me, yeah, so they might be taking some time.
And Vince doesn't see it.
Yep. There has been the rumor mill going around that Vince does not see the draw to Keith.
Which makes no sense because Vince likes big guys.
Well, the problem is that Keith is not muscular big. Keith is just big.
And he's agile. And he's great. How the man who has a multi-billion-dollar... I'm sorry, only $8 billion. It's no longer multi.
No, it's a multi-billion at this point. You have to think it's probably going to be multi because you think about it. He made $1 billion from selling to Fox, and he just made $1 billion from Peacock in this other deal that he's making.
He doesn't see it.
How do you not see Keith Lee as a future whatever?
So first we have the Smackdown Elimination Chamber.
I did this in order. So we have Ken Owens, Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Jey Uso, Cesaro, and Daniel Bryan.
Right.
Obviously, Cesaro and DB will be kicking us off because they're the last entrants. The entrances took forever.
Right.
They took so long, they ran a promo for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in the middle of their entrances and then still did more entrances.
What I did not like is, Mike, what is the time frame between people's pods opening up?
It was 3 minutes, if I remember correctly.
It just said a predetermined time.
Oh, God.
A regularly scheduled time.
I hate the Simon Says above shot they were doing that has the bing.
I have not seen it yet, and usually I have by now, like how long it was actually in between each opening.
I noticed that
it seemed to take like forever for the SmackDown one.
There was a spot or some spots where I noticed that I noticed it more on the Raw than on the SmackDown, where towards the last one or two people they started putting a countdown clock up in the bottom, but that countdown clock was on like 8 seconds every time they put it up.
Yeah.
Like this was just like. So I have to ask this question before we go too far into it.
Right.
Was this show rewritten by Vince?
Yes.
10 minutes before the start of the show.
It was still being written during the show.
It 100% showed.
Yes, because
nobody knew what the fuck they were doing.
They lost 2 matches.
Nobody knew what they were doing.
They lost 2 matches in this.
Okay, so Corbin in, then comes Zayn, then comes KO, then comes Uso.
Well, between Zayn and Owens, Corbin was eliminated by Cesaro.
Yes, and essentially they have the thing that the coolest part of this match was KO goes into the pod, and then Jay comes down, and him and KO have a thing back and forth where Ken Owens is headbutting the plexiglass, telling Jay, "I'm coming for you. Just wait."
But Jay just sat there.
Jay just sat there, and he's like, "I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him." And he's like, "All right."
But it was great because he channeled his inner Roman Reigns. He just sat like.
The thing about Jay is that
I'll just wait.
I haven't seen Jay in a bad match.
No, Jay is underrated.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's not because he was an amazing tag as a singles wrestler. No, the Usos as a tag team
having a belt and I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, moving on. Cesaro.
We got an angry face sent to us.
Fuck you. Okay.
Well, maybe it was something we said.
Okay, well, whatever.
Maybe they didn't like something about the show.
Make a comment. Tell us why you gave us an angry face. Or did you make an angry face because of something that happened that you agree with that was actually awful? In which case, love you, bud. See, it's bipolar, man. I'm all over the place. Anyway, Cesaro does a really cool spot with Sami Zayn. Corbin gets eliminated by Cesaro by submission. Okay, cool. Sami gets kicked in the face and eliminated by KO. All right. Door gets slammed on KO's arm as he is exiting. And then Jey Uso.
Which looked really good.
He looked like the guy at the beginning of Jurassic Park who gets stuck in between the Triceratops pen or the raptor pen at the beginning of it. And it's just like his hand's there and he's just screaming. It looked really cool. And then Jay does what I think everyone in the world would do. He just kicks him in the face 7 times. Cool. And then Jay eliminates KO.
Cool.
I did not see that happening that way, but you know what? They set it up, and they did it, and they didn't necessarily make KO into King Kong by doing that and making him get out of it. Now, granted, it took 7 freaking super kicks to the face to get him to stop, including one where he rolled into the ring on his knees, and then Jay kicked him again and then pinned him. So it made him look like a legit BA, but he didn't kick out. So, okay, we're in a weird spot right now. I think I know where the spot is going. And then Jay eliminates Cesaro. Okay? So, and then Bryan eliminates Jay.
Right. Because you thought for a minute, is Jay going to win this?
So,
and then just lay down?
I want to play fantasy for just a minute.
Okay, but I get to be the bard.
Okay. No, you're not a good bard. Okay. I see you as a...
More of a rogue.
Yeah, you're roguish, okay.
My roguish charm.
I play a great paladin. Just ask Will. So, Cesaro, right?
Yes.
About a week or 2 ago, right?
Yeah.
Gets jumped by Seth.
Yes.
They're talking about his leg, right?
Yes.
DB in this match hurts his knee.
Yes.
And they're selling DB's knee the whole time. Why would it not be Cesaro and make that make sense? Also, Cesaro, who the commentary team keeps saying, Cesaro is on fire right now. The WWE Universe is behind Cesaro. We've seen a change in Cesaro. Cesaro just did a Talking Smack episode where he talked about himself floundering and not becoming his full potential. And remembering the guy who won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial inaugural event. He wants to get back to being super Swiss Cyborg. And he loses. And the injury spot that should have been his gets passed to Daniel Bryan. And then the interesting thing of Jay versus Roman that could have happened, of Roman coming out and just saying, lay down, which would have been very interesting in my opinion.
Which would have been
we
better.
try and have a legitimate match between Daniel Bryan and then, which the only thing that ties back together is the fact that DB got destroyed by Jey Uso in November.
So, to answer what I think is your question, I'm glad Cesaro did not win. Because I want Cesaro...
He has to win something.
Yeah, he's going to. And I think that this is setting Cesaro up to start winning, winning later. Like, Cesaro can have a small run with Jay.
So, here's...
But Cesaro losing in the fashion in which KDB lost, I wouldn't want to see that from Cesaro. I would, when I saw Cesaro,
but look at what it did. Look how awesome Daniel Bryan looked.
I don't think he looked awesome.
Daniel Bryan looked like a fighting son of a gun in this, which is also stupid because they did the same thing. Remember, guys, Roman is not in this match, and Roman said he will fight the winner of the chamber match immediately after the match is over. Okay? Which, I don't know why anybody would agree to that, so it's weird. But anyway, Daniel Bryan looked like he was trying to make a go of it because, now overall though, this chamber match was super slow, it was pretty boring, and it made about 0 sense for who and how things got eliminated, except for the fact of Jay destroying KO and Cesaro destroying everyone.
So I disagree. I think this was a 4-star match.
This was a not great match.
This was... a great match.
They were going so slow. And, well, I'll tell you what. And this is a problem I have jumping into the future. There's no blood. The fact that there's no blood and nobody did a big shot, big dive, big anything, and Jay Jay did the closest thing with the big attempt at the frog splash, which he missed and caught himself out of it.
I'm glad, though. I'm glad that this
the
was...
spot where Cesaro stomped Sami Zayn off the top of the cage to the floor was okay, but this was just... It was like a basic TV match. You will see this match on Smackdown.
Oh, but without the cage.
Even then...
Although the one thing I did notice that when I commented that numerous times is that they spent 75% of the match outside of the ring along the...
Yeah.
Which I noticed in the past...
Now, they have...
Mat on top of it.
Mat or something on top of it?
In the past it wasn't. It was just metal.
Yeah, it was just a metal grating, but hopefully they got smart after seeing... Who was it? Was it Christian or Hardy that got the side of his hip torn in half because he landed on the metal grating? So then match 2 begins with Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan for the Undisputed Championship. It takes Roman 1 minute and 10 seconds to get to the ring. Okay, so why did Roman not just go down there and destroy him?
Well, the match only lasted a minute and a half anyway.
So the length of time it took Roman to walk to the ring is the length of the match. Spear gets turned into the yes lock. Oh my god, that looked cool.
Yeah, for a second there I thought Bryan had a chance.
Roman then just gets out of it and jumps up and elbows Daniel Bryan in the fucking head about 900 times and just kills him, knocks him completely unconscious. The ref does not call.
Which I thought that was going to be. I thought that's what was going to happen.
So then he just grabs him and just sticks him in, in the rear naked choke. No, the
Caputa lock? What it doesn't matter is I thought the ref was going to call the match.
Yeah, so he catches him in the choke, and then the announce team cover, and they say, this is just a formality at this point. The ref just looks down and goes, yeah, he's out. Boom, 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 you're done. And then he's celebrating. He steps off the turnbuckle, and the camera guys blow it.
And Dad hit fast forward. I did not see what happened next.
The camera guys kind of blow it, but out of the side, he turns around right into a spear from Edge. And Edge nails him, and Edge gets up and says,
the sign.
The sign.
And I missed it.
He says, I have made my choice. My choice is Roman Reigns for the main event of WrestleMania. The only thing I didn't like, and Edge should have caught this, is Edge should have picked up the belt and held the belt over his head and done the classic pose of taking the belt.
So what was
I thought that would have been really good to do, and I'm surprised Edge didn't do it. But yeah, the fact that Edge just nailed him after what he did to Daniel Bryan and said, hey, I'm taking it.
What was whispered in his ear?
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
So next match, we have Riddle, Lashley, and now John Morrison for some reason.
Well, don't forget, though, we have backstage a dash of Bad Bunny with Sonya and Miz and Priest. And then Miz gets bitched out by Damian Priest.
Oh, yeah.
We have to mention this for the simple fact of what happens later. Match 3, Matt Riddle versus Johnny Mundo versus Bobby Lashley. Apparently, Mustafa Ali was buried on the pre-show. So the pre-show that Joseph recapped for it, they did a nice little highlight on it, where basically Retribution destroyed Ricochet, and while Mustafa Ali was laughing about Ricochet being destroyed, he got pinned.
Yes. We'll talk more about that on Raw.
So, buried. Absolutely buried. No, we won't.
Yes, we will.
So...
Trust me, I have the results.
What was said between MVP and Bobby that made them dump the audio? Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if a word was said there that might not go over too well. Because they dumped that audio real quick for about 4 seconds.
So this was
Bobby destroys everyone.
For a while.
Oh my God, Walking Armageddon was legit in this match.
Yes, he was.
Johnny Mundo actually looks the best out of everybody, including Riddle, who looked like shit.
Yeah, I agree. This was a 9-minute match.
Riddle gets the crutch from MVP and then runs into the ring while Lashley has got Morrison in the Hurt locker. And then he beats the crap out of Lashley from behind with the crutch.
Shatters that crutch over
breaks the crutch
Bobby's
over
back.
Lashley just kind of gets out of the ring and rolls out and is like, kind of pissed off. And he's just kind of like turned his back and looking. And MVP, who was on a crutch, is going, And Matt Riddle wins the U.S. Championship by pinning Johnny Mundo, who was destroyed by Lashley.
Yeah. Well, we knew.
Now, here's a question though. I wrote down Riddle new champ who takes belt from Bobby Lashley. Dad has both. How do points work on this?
It's a wash for him. Now,
oh, that sucks. 2-star match.
I had a 3-star match, but here's the question: what would have happened if the match was as it was originally, with Keith Lee instead of Johnny Morrison? Who would have won that match? Because you would not have had that spot.
Man, oh man, what would have happened there? Yeah. They probably. They would have done the same thing.
Well, there was no way if Keith Lee was in that match, Riddle was not walking away with that title.
No, I think they would have done the same thing because remember, Vince doesn't see it in Keith Lee, but he sees something in Matt Riddle. He doesn't see him as the main event, but he sees enough to give him a title because he probably makes dick and fart jokes, and Vince loves potty humor.
And then then Bobby Lashley destroys everything.
Yes. Match 4, Shayna and Nia versus Sasha and Bianca for the belts.
You knew there was no way.
Oh, by the way, in the middle of this, I forgot that WWE bought Tap Out. I forgot that they bought Tap Out a couple years ago.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Pre-tape before match with Bianca and Shayna with Reggie, who the girls now like. Does SmackDown make sense with Reggie being pals with them now for why he walked into the frame shot with them? And he's like, what Bianca and what Sasha are going to do tonight is prove that they are the best. And they're like, yes, he's right. We are going to prove we're the best. Like, they were super happy that Reggie was there.
Yeah. And when I looked at Dad, and I go, Dad, why are they together? And he goes, you should have watched SmackDown.
I don't have time. Don't worry, they teleport to the stage. I wonder if that's Reggie's superpower, is that he knows what fine wine tastes like and how to teleport people from the back to the stage.
This is the backstage where they're talking. This is the ring.
I'm sorry, I've never seen that hallway. In fact, they specifically did not show it when Roman and KO fought from the back to the front. To me, in my mind, that hallway exists somewhere in the back of the building because I've never seen it.
This is a horrible match.
Next. Okay, so real quick, Bianca kicks Nia right in her hole at the start of the match. I'm sorry, I had to mention it. Nia's awful. Shayna is completely uninteresting and should go back to being a vampire. Reggie comes down with a champagne bottle.
Nia was never
No, Shayna.
She was never a vampire.
She bit a hole in Becky Lynch's neck. Oh. Remember when she was a vampire for like 2 weeks? She should go back to being a vampire. That was way more interesting. Okay. She took the mouthpiece out and bit her on the neck.
I remember. Unfortunately, now.
Just think if Becky Lynch hadn't gotten pregnant, what they were going to drag her into. Okay. Reggie comes down with a champagne bottle. He goes to hand it to Sasha and basically goes, here, kill her with this. And Sasha goes, no, I'm not evil anymore. Even though she cuts a heel fucking promo every time she gets on the mic, she decides not to do that. The ref sees the bottle in the ring and goes, hey, 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 and then they lose. And then the girl's not happy. Oh, by the way, Nia completely blew the spot at the end where she was supposed to catch Sasha. The only thing I can say in this is that Sasha Banks, regardless of how we feel about her as a character and what she does as a performer, is actually pretty good in the ring now. It's taken a while to get there.
We'll see.
But she looked pretty good in this match.
Okay. If I were in the ring with 3 paraplegics, I'd look pretty good too.
Backstage, Miz and MVP are plotting something. I did not write any extra comments down on this because I had future me knowledge. Match 6, Drew, AJ, Kofi, Sheamus, Hardy, RKO. Hardy and Orton kick off. Joe says Randy needs to slow Hardy down. The only way to do that is if they both stop.
Very true. Now, did you at all get concerned when you were only an hour and 58 minutes into the pay-per-view when this match started?
I looked at this and I was like, how long is this?
2.5 hours long.
Oh my God, this was so... Because Also, I started skipping through the 8.5 minutes of promo commercials for Bad Bunny's SNL performance.
Right,
and,
me too. Yeah.
WrestleMania Kraken rap song or whatever they have for it. Okay. Matt comes out next after the start. Then Kofi comes out. Kofi then eliminates Orton out of the middle of nowhere. Almost then rips the cage open to get AJ out, who's trying to run in across the ring get in.
Stop. Pause. Stop. You have to use this context. So, when Kofi eliminates Randy out of nowhere, then Randy RKO's everybody. So everybody is laying on the ground unconscious.
But also,
AJ's like, get me in there.
Which I have questions.
So almost rips the back, which you may have or may not have noticed that almost blew in the first one when he hit the back of it and it started to buckle a little bit.
Oh, I saw, yeah. Because they went, oh my God, Cesaro almost threw Sami Zayn through the thing. Yes.
Because that happened last year.
Yes. So, here's the problem I have with this. By the way, AJ wants almost to rip the plate off so that way that he can jump out, run in through the open cage door and start pinning people, right? Problem I have with this is that by the rules of the match, doesn't he have to be elected into the match in order to be eligible to start pinning people?
And the second question I have is why didn't Randy Orton just RKO him also? My third...
Oh, yes, because AJ runs around, and him and Orton stop, and they look at each other, and Orton's like, and AJ's like,
I'm going to back up.
Okay.
And it wasn't like Almost was right behind him.
Walks out. Yeah, and then Almost comes around, and Adam Pearce comes down and says, You're out of here. And Almost goes,
damn it. Like, there's no reason for him to be there anymore anyway.
And then AJ's like, no, almost come back.
Okay, so.
God.
Why was there no mystical bullshit involved? Why was there no Fiend? Why was there no Alexa? Why was it just a straight up elimination by Kofi? Other than the fact that him and Kofi have
history from
11 years ago. 12 years ago now.
For those of you who may not remember, Kofi messed up a move that did not look messed up, and then Orton proceeded to kick him and call him stupid in the middle of the ring.
Think of Kofi Mania 2 years ago. It was the whole thing.
Yeah. So they did all of that. It was terrible. It was dumb. He pinned him out of the middle of nowhere. They didn't have any weird supernatural BS happening, which made this look like... But the thing is that they made Kofi look great. They made Orton look like crap. They put Kofi over Orton, and then Kofi gets pinned.
By Sheamus.
Oh.
By Sheamus.
Drew kills everyone for the longest time. Sheamus is facing the other direction like he's in a shower, essentially, because he's got his arms up like this with his back turned to everything. Occasionally he stops and turns and looks around and sees, and Drew and him lock eyes. Because if you look at it, Drew is the biggest person in this match. Everyone else is like barely 6 foot, and Drew is 6 foot everything.
If they were smart, if they were smart, you eliminate Drew first because he's the one with the champion. That way, you're guaranteed to have a new champion.
Sheamus out. Drew and Sheamus brawl. So much talking. Kofi is talking a lot. He is seen talking a lot because, as we said, the show has been rewritten and nobody knows what they're doing. Sheamus kills Kofi Mania. Kills it dead. No one but AJ took the twist of fate right in the entire match. Jeff runs wild on everybody. Everybody blows the spot. AJ's the only one who goes to his stomach at the twist of fate.
Why is Jeff?
Okay. Then all of a sudden, Big Daddy Mac proceeds to eliminate Hardy with the Claymore. AJ fucks up the 450, but he saves himself and instead decides to kill Drew in the process. So AJ jumped up on the rope, and the rope did not spring. The rope bent out, and he goes hook and can't do the big 450, so he just turns it into like a senton splash and lands on top of Drew. Drew goes because he landed right on top of them, and then for some reason AJ says, no, I can do better. And then he does the 450 spot again. I don't know why they just didn't leave it at that and just make it that AJ just did a new move.
And then AJ gets...
Match completely falls apart. Drew gets out of place at some point. AJ then proceeds to eliminate Sheamus with the phenomenal forearm. Cool. Drew, Claymore to AJ off of the phenomenal forearm. Holy crap, that looked cool. Winner Drew, 2.5-star match for this one?
That's what I gave it, 2.5 stars.
Not great.
It was way better. It was not... The SmackDown one was way better.
And then Bobby Lashley comes out, and Bobby Lashley completely destroys Drew after the match. And I say, okay. And then Miz comes out. Miz cashes in Money in the Bank. Oh God, no. Miz is the new champion.
And I quote from Dad.
Fuck this show.
Dad. And I quote from Dad. Sorry.
Yep.
That was his.
I agree. This was dumb. This was so dumb.
No, so I, not knowing, missing that whole Edge Roman thing, I said, this makes 100% sense, Dad. Now, Edge gets the belt off of Miz, and now Edge can feud with Roman, and Roman gets the belt back on live TV.
You mean Drew?
Drew, yeah.
No, because he is feuding for him.
Right, I know that now. All
I
right.
think Edge is happy to be back and dealing with just the whim of a out-of-touch 80-year-old madman.
He must be, because he's there. But in his wife gets to be on TV now. So, that concludes Elimination Chamber.
Miz is your new WWE champion.
All right.
Awful!